Gracias, gracias. I am going to have to hire him as my hype man and take him everywhere. It's probably been the best introduction I've had in quite a while. Pues buenas tardes, muchas gracias por tenerme aquí. I am Ruben Gallego. I'm a proud Latino, veterano, and lucky to serve Arizona as a congressman. I'm truly honored to be here at LULAC to speak to many of you, some old friends and longtime supporters, but I'm particularly here for the Women's Hall of Fame Luncheon, because like many of you here, I would not be here if it wasn't for strong Latinas, especially one strong Latina I call Mami. Her story is very similar to everyone you've heard before. The story really of America. A woman who worked hard and raised 4 kids on her own on a secretary's salary. And she did everything she could to make sure that I and my sisters had a chance at the American dream. And it was rough. The small apartment we had on the south side of Chicago was so small that I had to sleep in the living room. But every day she came home, took care of the family, and pushed us further and further to achieve the American dream. Somehow she figured it out. So, in addition to sending me to school, she put my 3 sisters to college also. And then, just to double down and show how badass she is, she went back and got her college degree. From that tiny apartment 25 years ago, where nobody had a college degree, everybody now has college degrees. We have a sister who is a doctor, I have a sister who's a teacher, and guess what? Those 2 are more favored in the family than the congressman. So hopefully, being senator, that might change, but I sincerely doubt it. But I was lucky. I was very lucky to have strong, independent Latina women that were guiding me, my mom and my 3 sisters. They supported me every step of the way, every crazy idea or dream I had, whether it was joining the Marine Corps or saying, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to go to the best college I could possibly get into. They were there with me. And they were there when I got back. After my time in the Marine Corps, during some very hard times with PTSD, they're the ones that were there holding my hand the whole time. And now the dream continues. They've supported me, making sure that I have an opportunity to serve the country. They're supporting me now as I run for U.S. Senate. And let me tell you, there's nothing better in terms of campaign management than having 4 Latinas telling you what to do and how to win a race. I joke about it, but I think it really is true. Mama Gallego was the original mama bear of politics, and I am proud to have her endorsement to run. But what I have learned from my sisters and from Latinas everywhere is that it takes familia to do anything in this world. Whether it is business, whether it is politics, or it's just be able to live. You can only do it with the love of your family and support of your family. And let me tell you, I know that very much so right now. I have a 1-month-old girl waiting for me to get home, and I have a 6-year-old boy that can never keep still, but someone who loves and appreciates the familia that is supporting them. But because of them, because of my sisters, because of my family in general, my tias, anything for me and anything for anyone in my family is possible. And really because of them, the American dream has become possible. Only in this country can someone like me, a poor Latino, go and reach where I have reached. I've been to places that normally we're not even supposed to be. And I can attribute that to a family that supported me, that loved me, and will continue to do that. And they've taught me to lead, but also lead with compassion, by example. And everything that I've known, everything I share, comes from them. And they've taught me that I need to fight for the next generation, for the other familias. They need someone to believe in them, to fight for them, and to want to see them succeed in those countries. I carry those values every day. And it's why I'm making sure families across this country are never going to have to struggle like mine did. I don't want them to worry about how to put food on the table or how to make the next rent payment. We were always just one paycheck away from losing it all. And thank God, we weren't. And just like it was growing up, when Domingo was growing up, we had to work hard. Man worked every possible job, and look where he is now. I had to do the same, meat packing factories in Chicago or janitors in schools. But every time I did it, I knew I was doing it for my family, for the future. And I was willing to do it because I knew that that sacrifice was worth it. But that's not something a lot of people feel right now. That's not what a lot of Latinas feel right now. They're working 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And that's not the future I want for my daughter. I want a future where she can grow up and be afforded the same opportunities or better than I had. And that is the call of every parent. We all know that. We all live that. Everyone here in this room is doing that work. That's what I've known LULAC for my whole life, and that's what LULAC has been known. And please continue to do that, because the progress is needed. But rooms like this are essential. Growing up, my family did go back and forth from Mexico. And it's funny, when I was in Mexico, I was always taunted by the kids that I was too güero. And when I was in the US, I was taunted by the kids for being too brown. It's something that I really could never explain to anybody, whether it was at Harvard or even the Marine Corps, but it's something that I can really explain and understand here. And that's why LULAC is important. You are familia to a lot of people in these rooms. Whether it's here or whether it's in my little small apartment, you are making a difference. I'm surrounded by leaders all the time. The leadership in this room is a leadership that has helped me and other young Latinos really move forward. If it wasn't for LULAC, Arizona, the state of SB 1070, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, would still be the backward state that it used to be. It's LULAC and its fighters that have continued pushing us and pushing the state forward. It's people like Domingo Garcia, who has been fighting with us since day one, joining me 12 years ago at the SB 1070 protests. Como Lydia también, we were out there all together. It's like people like Pastor Emma Lozano, who is still out there working in Chicago, making sure our immigrant families have an opportunity to be treated with justice. So I am grateful for the leadership that has come before me. I am grateful for the leadership that has taught me and guided me. And I am grateful that that leadership extends to all the Latinas in this room, because this country is stronger because of Latinas. This country will be stronger in the future because Latinas will guide this country. And only when we respect them, and only when we treat them as equals will this country really fulfill its full capacity. So Latinas, please keep going. The country needs you. Now, you didn't come here to listen to me. I'd love to keep on chatting because I'm a politician, that's what we do. But I'd love to just turn this back and again say thank you so much, and I look forward to serving you more in the future. Gracias.